guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today we have another journal with me video. This is going to be for week 35 part 1. I'll bring you guys to my desk so we can go ahead and get it started. Alright guys, so I got my traveler's notebook here, and as always I am going to remove my insert out of my traveler's notebook cover just to make things easier, especially once I'm getting to the end of the month. My insert gets pretty bulky, so it's kind of hard to work on it without removing it from my traveler's notebook cover. So that's why I do that. Now I wanted to apologize in advance for the lighting in this video. This was another day that I had to record it in the afternoon. I think I mentioned earlier last week that, last week for me was extremely busy. I was like, there was so much going on in my life, personally, with work and everything, that, especially personally, that I was barely having time to breathe. It was just for last week. Things are going back to normal this week, thank God. But you know how it is. So it's like I didn't have time to record this in the morning. So actually the only time that I found was recording in the afternoon, which you guys know, if you've watched any of my previous videos, I complain that a lot if I have to record in the afternoon because the lighting in my studio, it just doesn't work in the afternoon. Like, I have a very harsh lighting coming through my windows. The sun hits my windows directly, and my desk, it's in front of 2 windows in my studio, so there's no escape from that. Like, once the sun is hitting my windows, is there, and there's nothing that I can do. And this day in particular, not only was very sunny, but it was also, to make things worse, was also there's clouds passing by, so the sun was coming in and out all the time. I was constantly having to pause the video to change the settings in my camera to offset of the change of the lighting. And even though I was still using studio lighting, sometimes you can control. So that's why we're gonna see the video getting darker and brighter. I try to color correct in my software, but there's so much that I can do in my software to fix that lighting. So I apologize in advance. Very long explanation here, but yeah, I'm really sorry. But I hope you can still see it, what I'm doing, and I hope it doesn't bother you that much. But anyway, so for today, like I mentioned earlier in the video, this is going to be for week 35 part 1. So I'm going to be creating 3 layouts today. Those are going to be for last week's layout. This is going to be for Monday, August 24th, Tuesday the 25th, and Wednesday the 26th. So this first one is Monday, August 24th. So for this layout, I decided to go with something more artistic, and the reason being is because I wanted to recreate kind of something that reminds you that you are looking at a magazine. And I also got very inspired by a layout that I created last week. I do have a video, I'll link it above here on the screen if you haven't had the chance to watch my previous journal with me video, where I got to create actually an abstract art layout. That one I created with markers, and I really enjoyed how it turned out. So I wanted to recreate something similar, but it looked more like you were looking at a magazine. But instead of using markers, I wanted to use paper. So I wanted to do cutouts of paper. So I just decided to make things simpler. Instead of creating a bunch of different shapes, I just went with circles. As you can see, I'm using a lid from one of my pots here that I use, just like one of my containers. And I just use both sides, the inside and the outside, so that way I could create 2 different shapes of, 2 different sizes of circles. And in terms of color scheme, I just decided to go with pastel colors. I think I mentioned that earlier in another journal with me video, but I've been trying really hard to come up with color schemes that match the color of this paper, which is this aqua blue, so I think usually pastel colors really goes, you know, it goes really well with this paper. So I decided to go with a pastel color scheme, so like very light yellow, blue, green. I'm not sure if you can see very well the colors from the screen. And again, if you can, I'm really sorry about this lighting, but yeah, but those, you know, papers are just different shades of green and different patterns as well. One of the papers is dotted, the other one has a different green pattern. So really different, you know, papers, but all the same pastel color. And I wanted to use this cutout from this magazine that says stay productive, because this was one of those days that really nothing like important or it's special happened. So that's why I decided to create something different for this layout. But this was an extremely busy day for me, and I'm sure all of you have those days that you are so busy, like so busy that you can barely breathe. Like you don't have time to barely eat, you don't have time to barely go to the restroom. It's just like so busy, one thing after another. And that this was a day like that for me. And at the end of the day, when I sat down in bed to actually journal, I just didn't feel productive. Like my day was so busy, but I just had that sense that I wasn't productive at all. And I literally, my journal entry was me listing everything that I've done that day, and it was so much. But again, I didn't felt a sense of being productive. I was busy but not productive, and I'm sure all of you had it those days before. And you know, it made me remind that not necessarily being busy means you are doing the right things, you're being productive. You can make yourself busy the entire day and you have no time for anything else, and at the end of the day you're still not gonna feel accomplished, because you were just busy with things that not necessarily matter. And that's how I felt this day. So that cutout of the magazine was a reminder, stay productive. Was a reminder of the day that instead of being busy, I rather, you know, stay productive. So it's just a reminder of the day, you know, at the end of the day, to really think over the things that I'm doing and try to really focus on the things that matter the most, instead of just being busy for the sake of being busy. Not all tasks are equal in value. You always got to remember that. And that was a reminder at the end of the day for myself. So that's why I decided to put that cutout. And I think it turned out pretty okay. I mean, was not one of my favorite layouts, but I really liked it. It really showed the idea for the day. So that's what matters. All right, moving on. I talked so much that I'm almost done here with this layout, and I didn't explain anything about this one. So this is the second layout. This was for August 25th, Tuesday. Busy day as well, but I actually got productive. I managed to do some things that I really wanted to get done. I spent most of my day working on some pen pal letters, so that's why you saw kind of like a letter theme there. I didn't have a crazy idea of what I wanted to write. I have quite a bit of writing there, so I needed to leave a bit of space, but I just knew that I wanted to come up with a letter mail theme, because there's two things related to mail that I did this day. One, I spent a good chunk of my day actually working on pen pal letters, and number two, I actually managed to get myself a P.O. box. Some of you were actually asking me if I had a P.O. box that you guys could send me some things, and it was very sweet of you guys to even, you know, bother to want to send me anything, but I never had a P.O. box, so I managed to actually finally get this P.O. box this day. So I wanted to really get the whole you know, theme of the layout with mail. So I grabbed stickers that I had that had a mail theme. on them, and most of them were like white and blue, so I just decided to go with it, and I created a layout with white and blue. And I just went very simple with that layout. I just did 2 paper collages on, you know, on the bottom left and on the top right, and I call it good. I just really grabbed a bunch of different things that I found in my stash that had that color scheme, and that's pretty much it. I really didn't think of too much. Like I say, this was a very busy day for me. I was kind of like creating those layouts kind of in a rush, so I'm really apologize if those layouts are not my best work, but I hope you guys can still grab some inspiration from them. But anyways, oh, and just so you guys know, I will leave now my PO box in my description box below. I mean, please don't feel the need of sending me anything. You don't have to send me anything, but if you guys were ever curious if I had a PO box or not, I'll leave the address below if you guys are interested in sending anything. But please don't think or feel that you have to. Please don't do that. Was just for some of you that were asking, so I'll make sure to leave my PO box address now moving forward in my description box. But anyways, for these last layouts, this was Wednesday, August 26th. Again, another busy day. I didn't have anything special that I could use in this day to come up with a layout, so I just decided to go with something completely different. I wanted to use a layout with white, blue, and pink, especially because this page, as you can see there, is one of the pages that actually I added on, so it got one of the white pages there on one side, so I think was a perfect page layout for me to play around with the 2 color pages and actually create this a different balance of colors with the blue, pink, and the white. So I really like how it turned out. I didn't have a lot of writing this day, so I was able to decorate, not heavily, but I was able to decorate quite a bit on this layout. And yeah, I'm just using some of those print-on stickers that one of my pen pals sent it to me. Beautiful stickers. I'm loving those print-on stickers. I haven't used in quite some time, so, and I just used some paper dolls, and that's pretty much it for today, guys. I'm gonna bring it close so you guys can see all of the details for all of those layouts. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you did, leave a like. If you have any suggestions, leave a comment down below. If you have any questions, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video tomorrow. Bye for now.